So what goes on? What goes on? What y'all doing? How y'all living today, y'all? It is your boy KVNGJAY, host of the Royal Voices podcast, the official podcast of Kvngdom, and this is episode 16 of season motherfucking 2. Let's get into it. Yes, sir. Yes. So if y'all don't know what's going on, as I mentioned, the official podcast of Kvngdom, a creative hub for music, art, and fashion, a space where we uplift creatives in a variety of ways through networking, engagement, spotlighting, and a ton of other things. So to make sure that you stay abreast of everything going on with Kvngdom, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at KVNGDOM.co. Make sure you follow the podcast, Royal Voices Podcast, all one word, all on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok as well. And then lastly, follow your king, the host of the show, KVNGJAY, on Instagram at _JAYTHEDON _ and the link to my bio has access to everything else I get involved in. And then last but certainly not least is Kvngdom.com. Kvngdom Essentials is out now. Make sure you go ahead and copy your drip on KVNGDOM.com. Y'all, the site gonna be down like in a day or two. So it was down last week for a second. I put it back up. It's gonna go back down for like another week and a half. So starting, I think, on say Thursday or Friday. So get up in there while you can. More things are coming down the pipeline, y'all. I'm feeling good. We are officially getting close to December. You know, it's Thanksgiving this week. Just a great time to be around friends and family and all that. I don't really get into the holiday itself. I just like being around my family and my friends. So treat that as it is. When it comes to everything else going on, I'm feeling good. You know, life is going, things are going good. It's snowing right now. It's cold as hell. December is next week. So, you know, not looking forward to the snow by any means, but, you know, parts of living in Wisconsin. We had, you know, a good week this last week or so. It's a lot going on business-wise, work, you know, dying down because everybody finna be out of office for the holidays and stuff. We had Friendsgiving recently. That was really, really fun. Shout out to my friends. Yeah, we had a Friendsgiving. It was a murder mystery theme that we had going on. It was celebrity edition as well. So I was Saucy Santana for my character. Yeah, it was a adventure. Say, you know, had the makeup, had the shades on, had the nails and all that. And I will say I got a newfound respect for people who just wear long nails or them acrylics or press-ons. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, my friends kept telling me, oh yeah, the nails is cute, I had on some press-ons, and I think people thought they was real nails, and I was like, nah, couldn't do it. And I'm glad it was just press-ons because I felt handicapped. And then taking them bitches off, my God, today, you would have thought I was out here doing surgery in the motherfucker. It was a lot, and my hands are still like they hurt. I'm not sure if I have to glue on there tight or what, but my nails are bare for the next few weeks. Back to this normal, you know. I usually get them painted every now and then, but we gonna go ahead and just lay off the gel manicures. Just do natural nunky for a little bit because I feel like I really beat my nails up. So shout out to my nails and shout out to everybody for Friendsgiving. So, y'all, it's a lot going on in the world, and I'm really trying not to be here for 3.5 hours because we really could get into some things, but I'm gonna really today try to just keep it here, you know, not over here, but keep it here because it's a lot. So let's just start off with our politics segment. Thank y'all. I really do love doing our podcast politics segment, music segment. That little montage is really fun to me every episode. I'm gonna say that every single time. The world of politics with this administration, ain't nothing. A day don't go by that ain't like, what the fuck. And these last few episodes, I've been trying to clarify how I view some things. I've been addressing some people who had comments about some of the things that I've shared and things like that. I discuss the things that I do once again, just because it's a crazy world. We need to know what the fuck is going on as people, but also as creatives. And a lot of this shit that gets discussed is being discussed solely because this shit is idiotic. Shit is idiotic. Unprecedented shit is happening right now. So as much as entertaining it could be, as much as like this shit's dumb, this shit is very, very dangerous. And just the way things are being condoned, the way people are justifying inexcusable shit that I truly thought, as many of you thought, we were all on the same page, was that things that are immoral, things that are despicable, horrendous, monstrosity type things. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just preferencing because all of these topics today is crazy. All of these topics today is wild. So just letting y'all know that. The first one we're going to get into, I kid you not, had an update right after I dropped episode 15. If you haven't seen it, I'll put it somewhere on the screen for you to go click it, go tap into that. But Epstein files are coming out. So I have a article here from the BBC. And it really just gives a bit of insight as to what's been going on. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing because, again, reading is highly beneficial and needed for critical thought. So I like to leave a little bit of information for you to go ahead and learn a bit more into, but give you a synopsis of what's going on in these spaces. So the article headline reads, Trump signs bill ordering U.S. Justice Department to release Epstein files. This was 6 days ago. U.S. President Donald Trump says he signed a bill that orders the release of government files on the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, a significant turning point in a months-long fight over the documents. The Justice Department now has 30 days to publicly share all information from federal investigations into Epstein. However, it can withhold files that relate to active criminal investigations or are deemed to invade personal privacy. In a major reversal, Trump dropped his opposition to the measure last weekend after pushback from Epstein's victims and members of his own Republican Party. With the support, the resolution overwhelmingly cleared both chambers of Congress. Until recently, Trump had dismissed the need to release the documents, calling it a Democrat-led hoax to deflect attention away from his party's work. The position was itself a change from the stance he took ahead of the 2024 election. Although a congressional vote was not required to release the files, Trump could have ordered the release on his own. I'm going to say it again for the motherfuckers in the back who don't understand what I just said. Although a congressional vote was not required to release the files, Trump could have ordered the release on his own at any point since he took office in January. I say that because people, lawmakers in the House passed the legislation with a 427-1 vote. The Senate gave unanimous consent to pass it upon its arrival, sending the bill to Trump for his signature. The last part I do want to highlight, the lone vote against the resolution in the House, the lower chamber, was cast by Louisiana Republican Clay Higgins, who objected to the scope of information that could be released. He said it could reveal and threaten thousands of innocent people who may have talked to investigators about allegations against Epstein. I'm gonna leave it there. It's a bit more that goes into like who Jeffrey Epstein is, why the files are coming out now, and the way that they will be redacted, because they will be redacted. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all get into that a little bit more. But my little two cents about this now. When it comes to these Epstein files specifically, the way that this has been going on has been crazy to me. 1 minute the files exist, you finna release them. The next minute the files don't exist. They never even they was never created to begin with. Then the files was ready sent on your desk, ready to push them out, but you was blocked for something when the whole time you could have been put them out, Trump. Then now it's a hoax. Now the files back and they do exist. But now you want to redact the names of the people who are on the list because you're concerned that the people who created the list, the same victims who are now advocating for all the files to get released, your concern is to protect the people who are also advocating to release all of the files. That's what I'm talking about. This shouldn't be if it's a document that can show a list of pedophiles, why is it a discussion? That's the shit that people don't like when it comes to politics. That's why I told y'all if I wasn't doing this podcast, you wouldn't see me talking about this shit. Because the way this space operates, it's like corporate America, and I work in corporate, y'all. It's like corporate America where you're in an environment where it's like, now, bitch, you know that's stupid. You know this ain't got no importance. Now you know this is a process we can bypass by any moment. But because you want to have another meeting, because you want to fill time, because you're on vacation. This is why I say this topic space gets me upset, because politics is so dumb. It is so dumb, and when shit like this hits the focal point, and we are actually having conversation around who did it, who didn't do what, is this okay, is it not okay, and y'all have so many supporters. That's the part that gets me. MAGA, all the people out there who talking about some, well, we don't understand why Trump is being the focal point. Well, y'all, I don't know what else the fuck you need to know this man is clearly in them damn files. It's clearly him in these files along with a plethora of others, and the amount of you bitches who be out there saying, well, if it was a Democrat, lock they stupid asses up the fuck too. That has never been a tactic to justify the bullshit. Well, they did it. Well, lock they ass the fuck up too. Lock they goofy ass the fuck up too. There's no exceptions. And that's the issue. That's the cult mentality. Y'all are willing to allow this man to sit in a president's seat? Be damned 34 convictions. Be damned the civilly liable rape case he has for Eugene Carroll. Despite the fact that he incited an insurrection, despite the fact that he got caught with doing insider trading, despite the fact that he's been sitting here creating terrible conditions for foreign and domestic navigations when it comes to politics, when it comes to trade, when it comes to affairs, despite all of this shit, despite him talking about and bragging about the fact that he's walking to the changing rooms of girls and teenagers and women, despite the fact of all of this shit, this nigga done lied so motherfucking much. Fact check became a creation in mainstream journalism. Despite all of this shit, y'all are still willing to believe the illusion that this man is a king, is a saint sent from Jesus himself, because he's going to make your groceries cheaper, because he's going to get rid of those immigrants, because he's making sports he's defending sports from trans people. This took a left, and I was going to keep it here. I'm clearly here in the focus of this Epstein. Jesus. In the focus of this Epstein case, this shit is stupid. This shit is crazy. Release them damn files. We're supposed to be getting them soon, but just know they will be redacted. These files will be redacted. And unfortunately, I don't believe we're going to get the full thing, which is the only reason this orange man has sat here and went from don't release the files, has went from trying to negotiate with Republicans to take their name off of the discharge petitions to the point that he had to actually meet people in the Situation Room to try to convince people to get their names off of this thing. That would be something that would motivate him to change his tune if he knows he'll be partially or majority covered. It's not rocket science. I'm going to say allegedly because there hasn't been, of course, public information of why Donald J. Trump has changed his motherfucking mind. But when I say inference-based thinking, critical thinking is needed in this country, there's no other reason why his tone would change from months of saying, I don't want these files out there, to the point where literally he saw the files about to get released and started panicking even more. And then within one motherfucking business day, this man goes from I'm against the files to release them, allegedly. Anyway, we gonna see how this continues to unfold. There was a lot that went into the Epstein case from the 20,000 plus emails that were sent out to the public that gave us understanding that Trump knew about the girls Jeffrey Epstein had. Jeffrey Epstein was trying to take him down. People trying to use blackmail against Donald Trump for this. They also were trying to showcase that Donald Trump may have blown Bubba. Who the hell is Bubba? Because people thought and assumed it was Bill Clinton, but then Mark Epstein came out and said it wasn't Bubba. So y'all, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. And these files have to be a doozy for all the shit going on behind it. So we gonna stay attuned to what's happening. But these files don't come out, and just be expecting for them to be heavily redacted. And I am all I want to see is what's to come after all this information is released. Then what? On to our next topic. So, y'all, I feel like I'm literally rage baiting myself today. Like, I'm just pissing myself off because these topics is crazy. The next story we have is swastikas, nooses, and the Confederate flags will no longer be considered hate symbols by the National Guard. Yes. So I have a source. I have a source from the Independent. The headline reads: Coast Guard disputes claims its new guidelines no longer consider swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. So the article reads: the U.S. Coast Guard will reportedly no longer consider swastikas, nooses, or the Confederate flag to be hate symbols, according to forthcoming guidelines obtained by the Washington Post. Though the service branch denies changing its stance towards such imagery. Under the guidelines reported by the paper, these symbols will instead be considered potentially divisive imagery. We don't deserve the trust of the nation if we're unclear about the divisiveness of swastikas. An anonymous Coast Guard official who has seen the alleged guidelines told the paper, a Coast Guard officer. The Coast Guard strongly disputed that it was softening its policy towards these symbols. The claims that the U.S. Coast Guard would no longer classify swastikas, nooses, or other extremist imagery as prohibited symbols are categorically false. Admiral Kevin Lundy, acting commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard, said in a statement to the Independent, these symbols have been and remain prohibited in the Coast Guard per policy. Any display, use, or promotion of such symbols, as always, will be thoroughly investigated and severely punished. The Department of Homeland Security, the parent agency of the Coast Guard, said the reports of a change in its hate symbol policy are fake. This is an absolute ludicrous lie, and according to an ex-post from Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary to the DHS. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the article down for y'all to go ahead and get into, too. The understanding that just the softening of focus when it comes to racist, hate-filled imagery, symbols, ideologies continues to be a running theme through this administration and through this country at a rampant and alarming pace. A lot of it truly is because of the way this administration handles shit. This is the same administration that also removed off of the DOJ's website a 90-year repository that showed the trends of extremist political violence. And a lot of it shows that it's on the right that a lot of these crimes happen, but that file is no longer accessible on the DOJ website, and it's been removed after 90 years of it being constantly updated by this administration. It's been removed by this administration. So this, sad to hear, unsurprising.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised by any means. And, you know, I'm really not surprised because a lot of the people who are currently in his administration believe in a lot of the ideologies that align with extremist groups like the Nazis. And that's not me just being opinionated. That's not me, just having a talking point. Have you seen it? It's the propaganda where it's been recently released that Trump has spent over $50,000 on North Korea style flyers and things like that to put up in official government building to this immigration enforcement through ICE, where they're literally just snatching people off the street that they assume are undocumented immigrants through the use of racial profiling that they got judge appointment clearance to do, to the literal flag with the Nazi symbol in the middle shown in some of y'all office spaces. I'm not surprised. We're not surprised. The black people are really not surprised because racism has never gone anywhere. And I think for many, the reason this is even a headline, it's starting to scare white people at how apparent this racist and truly hate-filled space exists in this country. Y'all are gagging. Y'all are shook. Y'all thought Obama got rid of racism. Y'all thought Kamala Harris being VP ended misogyny. Y'all thought it ended racism ×2. But y'all are realizing just how angry so many people are just for the color of your skin. Just because it's not white. That's what a lot of this boils down to. It's not white and it's not a man, a cisgendered man. And it's saddening too because even some women have these belief systems that harm them, that put them back. You get what I'm saying? So it's not surprising. I will continue to encourage people to uplift themselves, continue to protect yourselves. And despite all the bullshit going on, y'all, we are going to continue to prosper because that's just what we do. That's just what we do. There's no policy. There's no action. There's nothing. People like that. People that support things like this, because again, the Coast Guard did say themselves that they didn't soften the rigor that they have when being against it, according to the Coast Guard. But then there's other Coast Guard people saying that despite all of this, we're going to continue to thrive and continue to succeed. And I know that because history has not only shown it, but you don't move the way this administration is moving. You don't move with all these policies and all of this just tone deafness. At the speed in which this administration is moving, you don't do all of this if you really felt there was no threats. This is just further showing that there is an interest in not only oppressing people, but specifically poor people, people of color. And this time of the round of the oppression, the skin tone is just is an extra, but the focus is around poor people, where a lot of these things that are changing are impacting. So I really do hope folks serving in our military, Coast Guard, Navy, all of that, please remember your oaths. And I feel like this is a great transition into our last topic of the day, which is Trump threatened to unalive Democrats. Yeah. So before I get into this article that I have from AP News, I'm going to just say this really quick because I've read on this show before the reading statistics and the math, the arithmetic levels of people in this country, children in this country, but more so adults in this country, folks who are able to legally vote. A lot of people cannot read by itself. There's not no funny shit. I'm being dead ass. People cannot read. A lot of people cannot read. Just as a skill. The people who can read, there's some who can't comprehend what they just read. Comprehension of the words you just saw on that paper. Meaning, what does that mean? How does that apply to this? What does it let you know? Comprehension. There's also people who cannot comprehend what they read, but also cannot, because of that, cannot explain how things tie together because they couldn't comprehend it to begin with. Okay? So just be aware of that as we go into this, because understanding what's being discussed in this will require comprehension skills and inference-based thinking. Meaning, if I give you the phrase, there's a hole in the wall, his fist is balled up, what can you infer from those two statements? I'm going to let that be a little game for y'all in the comments. All right, go ahead. So the headline reads, Trump says Democrats' message to military is sedacious behavior, punishable by death. So the article reads, Donald Trump on Thursday accused half a dozen Democratic lawmakers of sedition, punishable by death, after the lawmakers, all veteran of the armed services and intelligence community, called on U.S. military members to uphold the Constitution and defy illegal orders. You had sitting lawmakers, sitting congressmen and leaders tell the military through a video to uphold the Constitution and defy illegal orders. And I want to just preface it by saying every single person serving gives an oath to do that very thing. So they released a 90-second video that was first posted early Tuesday from Senator Alyssa Slotkin on X specifically. The 6 lawmakers in the video spoke directly to U.S. service members who Slotkin, these names, I'm telling you, who Slotkin acknowledges are under enormous stress and pressure right now. The American people need you to stand up for our laws and our Constitution, Slotkin wrote in a post on X. Along with the Michigan senator, the other lawmakers appearing in the video are seen as possible future aspirants for higher offices, who now thanks to the video's wide exposure, have elevated their own political profiles. Trump on Thursday reposted messages from others about the video, amplifying it with his own words. It marked another flashpoint in political rhetoric that at times has been thematic in its administrations, as well as among some in his MAGA base. Some Democrats accused him of acting like a king and trying to distract from the soon-to-be released files about disgraced financier and sexual abuser Jeffrey Epstein. So again, just for quick breakdown, the Democrats made a video. Not all of them, some of them did, like 6 people, made a video basically telling all service officers to disobey illegal orders and to respect and uphold the Constitution, which they swear to do in their oath. If you know anybody in the military, anybody in the army, anybody in any of those service spaces, you know they have an oath to uphold, which is to hold true to the Constitution and to stand firm against enemies, both foreign and domestic, who are degrading and or infringing upon the Constitution or are serving as tyrants. Okay, so The post in here, I'm going to just read the part really quick just so y'all can understand, because I want y'all to really go up here and look into this too. But there's a section in here that says, are U.S. troops allowed to disobey orders? Troops, especially uniformed commanders, have a specific obligation to reject an order that's unlawful as portrayed in their oath if they make that determination. However, while commanders have military lawyers on their staffs to consult with in helping make such a determination, meaning they have people they can talk to make sure that they can decide if an order was lawful or not, or if they should be following it or not. Rank and file troops who are tasked with carrying out those orders are rarely in a similar position. Broad legal procedure, broad legal precedence holds that just following orders, colloquially known as the Nuremberg defense, as it was used unsuccessfully by senior Nazi officials to justify their actions under Adolf Hitler, doesn't absolve troops, meaning there was some Nuremberg trials that were held after all the chaos that was around the Nazi occupation of Germany. And when they went ahead and had those trials to hold, scientists, doctors, secretaries, people who were involved in the experimentation, the gas chambers, the camps, they went on trial. And the claim of just saying, "Oh, I was just following orders," didn't suffice, because you have a cognitive functions, you have a brain, and you are able to determine what is legal, what is just, and what is not. And I think at this point in time, the Democrats wanted to make sure that the military, who are under a lot of enormous pressure being deployed to, the U.S. cities to control crime, as ICE is out here snatching people off the street and putting them into vans and stuff. There's a lot of pressure right now on service members in this country. So that is where this is coming from. The reason that they're saying Trump responded and was threatening to kill Democrats, or threatening for death of Democrats, I should say, is as follows. On Thursday, Trump reposted to social media an article about the video, adding his own commentary that it was really bad and really dangerous for our country. Sedacious behavior from traitors. Trump went on, locked them up. He called for the lawmakers' arrest and trial, adding in a separate post that it was sedacious behavior, punishable by death. Honestly, truly. Sedacious behavior, punishable by death. Trump also reposted more than a dozen comments from other accounts criticizing Democrats, including one that stated, hang them, George Washington would have. So that there is what you are now seeing as condoning behavior. Because when you repost something, you're usually reposting because you want others to see it, because you enjoyed it. So you want others to see it. It's as whatever you're sharing can convey a message that you agree with, a thing that you thought was funny, things along those lines. But you basically, when you are reposting, liking, are giving your stamp of approval, your stamp of, yep, that's how I feel. Yep, I'm in agreement. And yep, I want others to see and act and engage the way I am. So when you have a president who sits and says this is sedacious behavior and these actions should allow for death, you are now successfully threatening people. I don't think it's been taken as serious as it should be, because the way we have just normalized the dumbassness of Donald Trump, as if he's just some regular person on the street, not the president of the United States, is crazy. And I really do feel, just the way he's been moving and the way he has adapted, in my opinion, if he had the opportunity to just start knocking people off the map, I think he would. I really do think he would. And I do want to add on to that Epstein conversation. I do think, in my opinion, those files will show there's more evidence leaning towards the part that Jeffrey didn't himself, allegedly, in my opinion. But yeah, this just continues to go down the things in which he aims to be that dictator-esque energy. Him and other prominent folks in the government right now have really been using AI to start posting pictures and videos of themselves. Trump himself have also been posting this picture of him sitting in his king spot with like people at his feet. It's really dystopian to see all this shit happening. And it feels crazy that so many people, and I mean people older than me, like 2-3 times older than me, aren't able to see these things. And it's even sad and more saddening to see people my age and younger agreeing with some of these things. It's crazy. It's crazy. I do think this continues to add to the increased tensions among people in the country. I do feel this continues to add on to increased division and divisiveness among people within this country. And at some point, these approaches, these rhetorics, these tactics are going to lead, in my opinion, to some form of violence because you have a world stage not only going against all of this overseas. Foreign folks right now are laughing at us, cackling. But a lot feel the sadness of this space right now. A lot of people are actually advocating, protesting for this space right now. But it's also emboldening a lot of this belief worldwide, but also in this country too. And when you have a certain point, just like with the insurrection, when something makes people so mad to the point that they want to go down to a federal building, break in, and put their feces on put your fucking shit on walls. This is going to create some kind of discourse. With the rise of all the white nationalist groups happening right now in the country, all the secret militias that are training and going to gun trainings and boxing classes and all this shit, not only here but in Canada, Mexico, the UK. It's so much going on. It's going to lead to some kind of discourse if this kind of stuff is not deterred. So, like I said before, I can give y'all a whole hour of politics, child. But we gonna get into it. Thank y'all for tuning in on today's episode. And again, for the politics space, y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay good. Y'all stay prayed up. Y'all stay protected. And don't be fearful for shit. Prepare for stuff. Have preparedness kits. Learn how to defend yourself if you need to. Because shit gon' only, in my mind, and unfortunately, get worse before they get better. Y'all stay safe out there. So now let's go ahead and get into Let's Talk About It with King. So y'all, I went ahead and condensed this area too because it's just a lot going on in the world of entertainment. Movies coming out, songs coming out, albums coming out, hoes in court. It's just too much. It's too much. So we're going to go ahead and get into this today too. First on the docket, Megan Thee Stallion is in court. Yes. So I actually found this out yesterday. I didn't even know this was going on. I didn't even know this was going on. What is it in court for now? What happened? So Megan Thee Stallion is actually in court. I have an article here from BET. Shout out to Black Entertainment Network. Yes. Meg is basically fighting a defamation trial right now. So the headline reads, Megan Thee Stallion's defamation trial against Milagro Cooper has begun in Miami. So the article reads, the courtroom in Miami stepped into one of hip-hop's most tense chapters on Monday, November 18th, as the federal defamation trial involving online commentator Milagro Cooper officially opened. At the center of it all is Megan Thee Stallion, who alleges that Cooper used her platform to harass her, discredit her, and intimidate her after she testified against Tory Lanez, the rapper convicted of shooting Megan in 2020. Megan is pursuing 3 claims specifically against Cooper: defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, I didn't know that was a claim. And the promotion of an altered sexual depiction. What? The third claim, the third claim leans on a new Florida law. Is that where the lady's from? Leans on a new Florida law enacted in 2024 that imposes penalties for people who knowingly promote AI altered sexual content of identifiable individuals. Also, like maybe like deep fake porn and stuff. According to Megan's complaint, Cooper liked a deep fake video of Megan on X, then posted "Go to my likes," which her team says encouraged her audience to watch and circulate the altered clip. She also told her station head listeners to check her likes, which Megan argues shows purposeful direction. Okay. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and finish that read. I do want to note that there is a mention of Aiden Ross and academics who she's also noting. Okay, I know what this case is about. I'm like, I ain't even heard this case. I did see video of academics in that questioning, and that boy was. I ain't never seen him talk like that. I'm caught up. Yes. And Aiden Ross same had the investigation too that was streamed. I remember seeing that. Okay, all right. I'm caught up. So yeah, I'll add the link down below too. So Milagro. I remember hearing about this a little bit ago. Now I did watch DJ Academics and Aiden Ross's. Not Aiden Ross's. Aiden Ross, I saw try to deter his comment section from talking about it when he was going live stream or whatever. But he was talking about how he can't talk about certain things no more and how this lady was suing him. And then Academics, I did see the way he toned his whole tune. Whole demeanor shifted. It all jumped it. Now, Milagro, I do think that deep fake thing with the direction, I do think that's a reach. Like you're really, really, really reaching because she could say go to my likes to promote anything. And if you are going to somebody's likes, you're going to see everything they liked. So there's still isn't, at least in my mind, for that video part, to lean in Megan's favor because in my mind, likes has a ton of spaces. And simply saying go to my likes, you don't really know what you're looking for. So I can't say it's purposeful direction for that part. Now, as far as the bloggers that be talking and doing all of this, I have no remorse because Megan told y'all. Now listen to me because I'm trying to give you hoes a warning. You gonna have to pay me forever trying to be corny. She gonna leave y'all broke.
Insufficient funds. You ain't got no money.
Woo. Y'all ain't got that money. It's giving Tasha K. Milagro, baby, you. The last one, I can see some wiggle room. Them first two, cause she make it stick in court. I ain't gonna lie, them tears be tearing. I don't know. Aiden and academics, I better stop before y'all paying residuals, bitch. Before y'all paying residuals in this bitch. I don't have no remorse for y'all. I really don't. I would love to see a lot of bloggers get reprimanded for just making shit up. And I don't mean to the extent of how we talk about shit and I just throw my 2 cents in there. But I mean in a sense when people come in with a consistent beratement of people. And Megan Thee Stallion, despite how you may feel about her, and I will say this about a lot of the female girlies, Ariana Grande, Nicki Minaj, Cynthia Erivo, all these people, when you get on these platforms and start sharing your opinion, it's just my opinion. A lot of you motherfuckers don't realize what defamation is. A lot of y'all be thinking because you can say it that you should, and a lot of y'all want attention. Y'all know talking and speaking on certain people, certain prominent folks will give you that attention, especially if you're making fun of, making shit up. Because I'll be lying out y'all asses too. That ain't no surprise. But people don't be thinking that they're going to get seen. Oh, I ain't got enough followers. Oh, I ain't got enough views. You don't never know who watching. And these folks who have prominent platforms, who continuously go after folks like academics, how he does, I remember him dragging Megan bad with standing behind Drake, standing behind Tory Lanez, standing behind Party, behind the baby. Academics is one of the only people in this world I really have a disdain for. I don't even know this man, but that man is a bitch, and he's bitch made. I'm gonna say that for the record. Josh saying that. I don't like academics because the way he operates as a person, he a grown ass man in a basement talking down on every fucking body with his own issues that he needs to address. I'm not gonna get up into those. I just cannot stand academics. I really truly cannot. And when you are doing things to people in a spiteful, intentional way, it bites you back in the ass, which is why I said I don't have no remorse for y'all, because Megan told y'all, stop playing with her before y'all get sued. She said it literally. She said it several times. To the next person that bring my NDA, if they go for YouTube, I'm going to sue you. She been told you, I'm going to sue you. Don't argue with me. Argue with the subpoena. And let's see who laughs the loudest. Here's that subpoena. See you in court, Bookie Butt. I'm sorry, I don't feel bad. I don't. Megan, get your coins. Megan, get your money on. I don't see it sticking for that video. The way she went about liking it and then telling people, I don't see that part sticking. But the defamation, I think you got that in the bag. So we'll keep up to date with what's going on with this case and let y'all know how much more things develop. But Aiden Ross and DJ Academics have been, I believe, interviewed as well. They're going to see soon the deposition content from Aiden Ross and DJ Academics, both who, previously weighed in on the case. And I think recently Megan just took the stand, and, she, the article was saying gave an emotional testimony and all of this. So, yeah. That coin for the coin in, and it's giving me another Tasha K, Cardi B situation. A lot of y'all YouTubers, a lot of y'all podcasters need to learn how to shut the fuck up about certain shit because you don't got the money to back your ass up if you need to. Next story. Now, this just made me mad. I forgot this was on the docket. I really did. I forgot this was on the docket. This lady got jumped in Chicago. I'm gonna read this article. Actually, I'm not gonna read y'all the article. I'm gonna play all the video. Okay, so we gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play a video for y'all. And I want y'all to let me know your thoughts when you get a chance. So this video will be from YouTube, and I'm putting it up now. I'm hoping that this come up right. All right, I think it's on. I think it's recording. I think it's still going. We're going to go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and get to this video.
Now to a CBS exclusive. The mother in this video, who was attacked while protecting her children, is speaking publicly. She and her son were brutally attacked by a group of kids on Monday, and this video has caught the attention of many across the country. Now that community is stepping in to help move her out of the South Deering neighborhood. She only spoke to our Sharday Gray about this horrific attack, and Sharday is live in our newsroom with more from this exclusive story.
Well, Marie, Korshonda Hatter says she's still in physical pain after she and her son were brutally attacked with her young daughter just steps away. Her legs are bruised and it's hard for her to walk. But what hurts her the most is her children are still suffering.
My son is, he's very devastated. He'll wake up out of him in the middle of his sleep, screaming. He'll scream, "Mommy, are you there?"
Hatter says her 9-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter are traumatized after watching their mom get attacked by a group of kids. In this video, we've blurred the faces of those involved because they're all minors. We've stopped it after she was dragged to the ground because of how brutal it is. Her son was beaten, and she says one of the kids pulled her daughter's hair. Her daughter stood off to the side crying, watching her brother and mother get attacked.
I felt helpless because I was down on the ground and he was down on the ground and he's looking at me screaming like, "Mommy, please help me, help me." I couldn't get up myself. I couldn't do nothing.
She's sick. She has sickle cell. So I guess they seen a little weakness on her because she's, kind of walking a little slow. And they have no right to put their hands on an adult.
That's her partner, Devon Lee, who was at work when the attack happened. Hatter went on to tell me that her son has been bullied for the past 2 years at Orville T. Bright Elementary School because of the way she walks and talks, all of the results of her sickle cell disease. Hatter tried to talk to the school about the bullying, but she says they didn't do anything about it. Yesterday, a large group of parents came to the school to show their support for the mother and to put an end to bullying. The community immediately stepped in and moved her out of South Deering and into an undisclosed location. Hatter says she's pressing charges against the parents of the kids who attacked her. As for her children, they'll be transferred to a different school, and she's looking to get therapy for them. Reporting in the newsroom, Sharday Gray, CBS News, Chicago. Marie.
So we're going to stop there. I'm hoping that came through the right way. We'll see if I can record it. Yeah, that was in Chicago. I don't got a lot of words, my view, and I'ma just say, I don't give a damn. 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 Kids can catch it too. I think if you've seen the video, it's a level of anger that sit up in your chest. One, because it's kids, right? It's just like, what? All these kids doing this? But then two, you start from the beginning to the end, you see the mom and her kids trying to just mind their business. They're walking away. They're being followed. They're being yelled at. They're being mocked. They're doing all of this shit. And you can see the deliberation that group of kids was having as this continued to just slowly escalate. Like they was testing the waters. And then when they saw that she wasn't able to fight back, that was when they said, fuck it. I'm saying start whooping these kids' ass to parents specifically. Because had that been a different person, had she been strapped and somebody would have been unalive because of this, oh, then it would have been my kids, my son, my daughter. How could you? They're children. And that's another illusion we have in this country. Y'all mindsets are, because they're kids, they should be exempt from accountability. Because they're kids, they should be exempt for punishments. Well, they didn't know what they were doing. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And the people, because there was a few parents who got on live and shit talking about well, my daughter is here to talk, and, if there's any comments, be respectful because this is a kid. You can grow from this. You can change. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Y'all the ones condoning stuff like that's the problem. That's the problem. In Chicago, they're my cousins. You know what I'm saying? They're my cousins down the street, being from Milwaukee. But I can guarantee you, y'all would have had to see people in Milwaukee. I can guarantee you. The parents would have had to run the face. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. And listen. So I think the mom going about it the right way. She's choosing peace. Shout out to the community who raised, I believe, over like $250,000 for that lady. Congratulations to that man. I'm praying for a recovery. And I think it made me more mad because she has sickle cell. So not only is she trying to be a good parent to her kids, she's in pain already just getting down the street. And then I'm trying to keep it cute on this podcast, y'all, because that was my mama. Oh my God. If that was my mother, choose peace, choose love, and choose light. Let God be the way. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure I talked about that and y'all stay up to breath. And I want to make sure I say to all them parents out there, if you have children that you know creates problems, please stop the whole, not my baby, not my daughter, not my son, because the shit you do as a parent is what you create as an adult. I do agree children have a level of forgiveness because they're children. But the world we are in today, people don't give a fuck. And when your children are capable of causing harm to that magnitude, the way she could have responded could have been totally different. And it would have been totally justified. Whether you like it or not, but it's kids, yeah. But like I said earlier, we have the luxury here to say, oh, it's just kids. In other countries, in some countries, it's kids that will take you out right now. All because of your defense mechanism. They're just kids, right? Little did you know that kid had a bomb strapped to their chest. But it was just a kid, right? Little did you know that kid just had a blade in their pocket. Little did you know. So be safe. Watch your surroundings. Be loving. And if you have children, be an example. Nip that stupid shit in the bud. Be an example to not only be a productive individual in this world, but to elevate beyond themselves and be better for themselves. I'm going to let that be there. Now, I don't want to have to get into it, but I got to get into it because what the fuck is going on? And my phone was juking. It was juking. So to the folks I have not responded to, here's your response. Nicki Minaj is at the UN. Nicki Minaj is at the UN, and we're going to be discussing that along with her current image of today. So before we get into this, I'm gonna just go ahead and read the article so y'all know what we're talking about. And then I'll give my commentary. So this is from AP News. The headline reads, rapper Nicki Minaj calls for protections for Christians in Nigeria at UN event. Rapper Nicki Minaj took up President Donald Trump's allegations that Christians are persecuted in Nigeria, saying Tuesday at a United Nations event organized by the U.S. that she wants to shine a spotlight on the deadly threat. Trump has said Christianity faces an existential threat in Nigeria and has told the Pentagon to be preparing for possible military action in the West African nation. Experts and residents say some attacks target Christians, but most emphasize that in the widespread violence that has long plagued the West African nation, everyone is a potential victim. Everyone is a potential victim. Everyone, regardless of background and belief, are potential victim. The Trinidadian-born Minaj thanked Trump for his leadership and for calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religious belief. So she spoke at a panel, the U.S. mission to the United Nations, along U.S. Ambassador Mike Waltz and faith leaders. The event came after she replied to Trump's social media post about Nigeria earlier that month, saying no group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. Pope Leo said Christians are suffering discrimination and persecution in various parts of the world, pointing to Nigeria and other countries like Bangladesh, Mozambique, and Sudan. Introducing Minaj, Waltz said she steps onto this world stage not only as a celebrity, but as a witness to spotlight Nigeria's persecuted church. All right, so I'm going to stop there. Because I could just... So, okay, so that was the article. And I wanted to read the article so I could understand a little bit as to why Nicki Minaj was at the United Nations conference or the summit, whatever it was, and why Nicki Minaj specifically was chosen to be at that event. Now, I do also want to clarify specifically one more thing because there was a part in that article where they explained the situation going on in Nigeria. I'm going to read this one more article from AP News. The headline reads, Trump says Christians are being persecuted in Nigeria. The reality is much more complicated than that. The villagers in northwestern Nigeria were settling in for church service when motorcycle riding gunmen invaded, shooting at random and seizing at least 62 people, including the pastor and several children. They were marched into the nearby bush and forced to walk for 2 days to a forest hideout. There, they said that they were held for nearly a month while relatives and other villagers sold anything they could, farmland, stock, motorcycles, to raise ransom to get their release. They got little food and sleep. They were told to renounce Christianity and saw 2 fellow hostages killed. 4 of the villagers who were eventually freed told the Associated Press in interviews at their church in the Lagari community in Nigeria's Kaduna state. So there's a section in this space that reads a war against Nigeria. Nigeria's population of 220 million is split almost evenly between Christians who live predominantly in the south and Muslims mostly in the north, where attacks have long been concentrated and where levels of illiteracy, poverty, and hunger are among the country's highest. Nationwide, Muslims constitute the slight majority. Experts and data from 2 nonpartisan sources, the U.S.-based Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project and Council on Foreign Relations, show Christians are often targets in a small percentage of overall attacks that appear to be motivated by religion in some northern states. But the numbers and analysts also indicate that across the North, most victims of overall violence are Muslims. Analysts and residents blame the killings on rampant corruption that limits weapon supplies to security forces and failure to prosecute attackers and porous borders that ensure steady weapon supplies to gangs. So I wanted to make sure I read that really quick, just so we said, and what I emphasized earlier in the last article, the violence that's happening in Nigeria has been aimed at anybody specifically who has not been aligned to the group. I want to say it's called Boko Haram. Yes, Boko Haram specifically. Who are jihadi extremists and more recently an Islamic State backed breakaway faction that has been present since 2009. Okay? So it's not just Christians. Christians are being harmed in this space. Don't get me wrong. Yes, that is the truth. But it's not just Christians, and it's not at a more alarming rate than anybody else, despite what has been said by Trump and now backing Nicki Minaj. But also, according to the report, there are more attacks against Muslims specifically. All right, so now I got those articles out the way. I also want to add in, this is something that Nicki Minaj has spoke on in prior years. There was a tweet that got circulated around when all the backlash started that kind of just showed people, at least from a topic standpoint, specifically around religious freedom and specifically Nigeria. She talked about that a few years ago. So before Trump was even in office, she was discussing this as well. So for the talking point of it, the care around religious freedom and specifically within Nigeria, she has discussed before in the past. Now, I gotta give in. Yes, it's Nicki Minaj. I gotta give in. This looks crazy because not only are you aligning yourself, Nicki Minaj, I'm talking to my girl right now because, girl, what the fuck is going on? This looks crazy right now because you're aligning yourself not only with Donald Trump, but you're aligning yourself with Donald Trump behind things that he's inflating, right? He's inflating a sense of danger and inflating a prosecution against a group of people based on religious beliefs, as he's always been doing. He's been inflating concerns around Christians in Africa, period. When he flew that plane, white South Africaners over to the U.S. and only white people because of the persecutions going on, he's inflating these things. So you jumping on and co-signing and bandwagoning behind this, yes, you're going to create opposition with people. And this also is going off of a few engagements with this administration where it's, to me, you're trying to win favor for something. It look real kiss assy to me. Real kiss assy. And I'm just being honest with Nicki, because you see the baby list, love you down. The girls know I get down with Nicki. But like I said before, this understanding, this is what I say is two kinds of barbs. Right? It's the same barbs, which I'm one of them same barbs. I can criticize this lady. I can criticize that music. I can criticize some actions and stand firm on what I said. I say what I said. Then there's the other barbs who are going to condone anything this lady breathes on just because her name is attached to it. Just because she did it. Just because she's around it. I'm not part of that group. Let them do what they do. I don't. But the people who are like, what the hell going on, are a lot of the same barbs. And we're saying this because not only is it the UN situation now, you was also talking about Donald Trump's granddaughter doing your trend to wake up in the morning and we step outside. And on top of that, you keep doing these, thank you, President Trump, thank you, to the point people thinking that you MAGA. Now, I do believe Nicki Minaj is a Republican. She been said it. She a Republican, voted for Mitt Romney. Think you lazy hoes fucking up the economy. I think that was. I'm not surprised by that. And it's not just this. It's just been a tirade of shit. You just been on this decline ever since Bigfoot. Which was the key. Bigfoot was the key to me. If you know Nicki, that was prime 2012 Nicki Minaj. But I've grown to realize that's the issue. That's the problem. Bigfoot was 2012 Nicki Minaj, and this is 2024, 2025. You feel me? So these views that you're standing up for something may be believed in your heart, but understand you're being played, Bookie. And I think you know this. And this is why I say I think Nicki knows this. You know you're being played. You're kissing ass. You need something. My spirit is telling me you need something. You need a pardon. You need some money. You need a cosign from the president. I'm not sure if it's got to do with Rock Nation. I'm not sure if it's got to do with you in your battle with Jay-Z. I'm not sure if it's got to do with any financial space, but you need something. And that's the only way I can understand and rationalize the shit you doing, because even while you was giving your speech, you kept saying these little things to say, like, I'm not with him. You don't like Donald Trump. You don't like Donald Trump as a person, but you are a person who's able to put personal disagreements aside for personal gain. And what you're trying to gain, I don't know at this point in time. But you're looking stupid. You're looking goofy. And I think you're okay with that because you're Nicki Minaj. You feel me? I don't think you're really pressed about it because you need something. And what that something is, I don't know. I do not know. But I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I just have to make sure I spoke about this because y'all was on my heels about Nicki in this MAGA stuff. And I don't know if y'all think because I like Nicki Minaj, I will not condemn shit she does, shit she stands for. I like her music. She a cool person. But one thing about it ain't giving co energy over here. And if anything like this lady comes out, that comes to a point where I say, oh, Josh, I shouldn't fuck with her. I would not fuck with you then, baby. I love you. But we have to start being 10 toes behind what is right. What is right? I've been said with all these girls falling out with her, it's something about Nick. She's doing something. What is it she's doing? But she's doing something. And when there's smoke, there's fire. So I know she's not a perfect lady. By no means. Nobody is. But the shit she's doing here, you want something. And I just don't know what that is. And one more thing I want to say, because I've been seeing some barbs trying to justify her now alignment with the Trump administration and all this, thank you, President Trump, and all this shit, because she's standing up for religious freedoms. That's been y'all thing. I want y'all to understand Donald Trump is not a fucking Christian, does not uphold religious rhetoric that goes that goes behind Christianity. Trump has a Trump Bible. Let's start there. That's blasphemous at its finest. That's blasphemy at its finest. I'm going to continue. MAGA swear he the second coming. Did y'all not see him be portrayed as Jesus? He's also said he don't repent for shit. He also said he know he not liked in heaven, so he tried to do certain things to get some cool points with God. He don't follow these principalities, y'all. He's a liar, an adulterer, cheating on all his wives, literally is a civilly liable rapist, allegedly on the Epstein list as a possible pedo and sexual assailant. He let you hold Star for a month because the government was shut down. If you look at Donald Trump and think, Jesus, I'm confused. But hey, I understand a lot of you hoes are ignorant. And I say a lot of people who are in a Republican leaning support Trump side are truly ignorant. A lot of them, some of them don't have them immoral belief systems, but are just truly victims of propaganda. Y'all forget propaganda works. Propaganda works. That's the reason y'all out here trying to fight people who are Hispanic now. Cause y'all think everybody an immigrant and y'all think everybody is a gang member from MS-13. Propaganda is the reason y'all think trans people are leading in mass shootings when they make up less than 1% of the country. Propaganda is the reason y'all are scared of black men like me wearing hoodies at night. Propaganda is a hell of a thing. And we have to get understanding that because you have fallen for propaganda doesn't make you, stupid. Sometimes some propaganda is like, bitch, but duh. But it's still propaganda, and it's meticulously created, released, and circulated to intentionally mislead you and influence your thoughts. And I don't want nobody thinking that they're off limits from being misled. So a lot of people who are on that right side and the Democrat side too, don't get me wrong, people just don't have information. That's why I say some people are ignorant, some people are stupid. When you are lacking good judgment, you stupid as hell. When you got the truth in front of you and you don't want to acknowledge it, that's stupidity. But when you ignorant, you just need a little bit more information to make the most logical and rational decision and come to the most logical and rational conclusion. And I think at this point in time, Nicki Minaj is being ignorant to the actual severity of things going on. And I do think her, along with other celebrities who are not speaking or other folks who are just choosing to just be silent, are ignorant and don't want to sound like they stupid, are ignorant and have beliefs that align with Trump, are ignorant. Period. I don't know what she's trying to gain from this, but she wants something. Y'all being manipulated, and Nicki, I feel like you falling into that. Unfortunately. I hate that for you. This along all the other shit going on in your girl. It's hard being the barb. It's hard being the barb. But Nick, I'm letting you know I've been falling further and further and further and further off this Nicki train. I love me some Nicki. I do. I know them songs like the back of my hand, girl. Gag City was a time. But we have to be attuned to the world we are in. And when you are siding with people, even when you want some shit, and you're putting your personal interest above the things of others, that's where I have an issue. And my thing with people supporting this administration is not the fact that y'all support Donald Trump. I could give two fucks. I don't give a damn. My issue is that y'all are willing to support an administration and a person after all of the chaos and hell that y'all see this person in this administration is raising, after all the people that you're saying are impacted, after all the people that you're saying being targeted, and you're finding some kind of justifiable high ground, is baffling to me. And then to hide behind this, well, I'm just a Christian. My Christian beliefs. Nicki, She looked good. She did look good at that event. She looked good as always. She spoke very, very well despite being nervous. But you being played. This looks stupid to me because you know better. But I think you know what you're doing. And I think you know why you doing what you're doing. And whatever that why is, I hope it's enough for you. And I hope it's coming for you in good intent. Because if some shit come out, Nick, I'm telling you now, girl, I'm going to say it on this pod. If some shit come out behind Nick, in the words of Kendrick Lamar, when shit hit the fan, are you still a fan? I'm going to have to debate how hard shit hits the fan. With that being said, that concludes. Let's talk about it with King. Let's move on. So for our creative advice segment, y'all, I really don't have a lot of advice for y'all today. You know, it's not. It's just not. I don't have a lot of advice for real. I think honestly, these last few episodes, I've been sharing with y'all kind of where I've been going with Kvngdom, and I always take those experiences and put them into my content, either here or in the Life of the Working Entrepreneur series I be doing on TikTok every now and then. The more I get immersed, the more I get engaged, I realize there's going to always be some need for sharing advice. And it's hard to share advice behind things at times when I need advice. So I guess in the spur of the moment right now, I will make my advice for today to be, it's okay to ask for help. Okay, it's okay to ask for insight. It's okay to ask for information when you're lacking it. To ask for understanding when you're lacking it. And this goes beyond the creative space, just in general as a person. If you know you don't know something, you have the tools to go ahead and do your own research. You have the access to go and talk to people. You can see who are prominent folks in whatever thing that you want to learn more about and get information from them or their peers. But we have to be comfortable asking for help. We have to be comfortable asking for direction. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that with Kvngdom, because you reach a ceiling like, what the hell? What am I doing? And you feel like you're all over the place. I do that within music. I do that within this podcast. I do that within strategy behind this space. So my advice today would be okay asking for help. Be okay asking for guidance. Be okay asking for direction and understanding and insight and knowledge. And just be okay knowing that you don't know every damn thing. Be okay knowing that you are going to acquire more understanding as you naturally go through your journey. Understand that you're going to fucking fail because you didn't know what the hell you was doing, because you didn't know something. And know that's also part of the journey. But when you are getting scared to ask for understanding, when your pride is too big to ask for help, that's when shit goes to the left. That's when you start getting shit like MAGA. That's when you start getting misunderstandings, misled, the falling for propaganda. That's when your business start getting impacted. That's when you start losing friendships and stuff, all because you couldn't ask a question. Or all because you couldn't get comfortable with the saying of, I don't know. Because you're so scared of those 3 words, I don't know. You make some shit up and run with it. You'll make some shit up and believe it. All because you couldn't say, I don't know. Or I need help. So that's my advice for y'all today. Ask for help. Say, I don't know. Because you're not going to know everything. And when you get that team going and that space moving to have those consultants and check-ins, value that. Really, really value that, because people make this bitch spin. People make things grow, scale, get more access, but it all starts with I need help. Can you help? Or I don't know this. Can you help me learn this? Or I don't know this. Let me go ahead and learn this. It all starts with that. So thank y'all for tuning in to today's episode. We're going to go ahead and close out the show. So, y'all, this concludes episode 16 of Royal Voices podcast, y'all. It's a lot going on. And I just feel like it can be overwhelming. So y'all be graceful to yourselves. Take a second to just breathe. Take a second to just reflect and be grateful, especially this week. Take a second to be grateful for everything that you have access to, everything that you've been through and overcome, everything that you've tried and succeeded at, everything you've tried and failed at and learned from. Be grateful for the experience, the journey, the exposure, the progress you've made throughout 2025. We got a month left. And it's going to be 2026. Clap it up for that shit. Be grateful for life. It's so many that didn't make it to today. It's so many people that didn't make it to November. But you here. So continue to move with grace. Continue to move with love. Think about how you can be better today and tomorrow than you were yesterday. And think about how you want to continue evolving and elevating. Think about where you could improve. Think about where you fucked up at. I don't like that one. Think about where you fucked up at. Think about where you was in the wrong. And come to grips with that. Come to grips with that. Okay? It's so much more coming down the pipeline with Kvngdom. This project, y'all, music has been pissing me off these last few weeks. I've been trying to get Scary Hours out since October. We had to change a few things to get approved through distribution. And I don't like editing shit. And when I had shit that I want to do and I want to say and I want to give it how I want to give it, I want to do it how I want to fucking do it. But I'm going to take a note for myself, pivoting. So that project is still coming out. It's still in the works. It's still being refixed now. So keep an eye out for that. And when it drops, I'ma just drop it. It ain't gonna be no big rollout behind it. I feel like the momentum behind it, my energy behind it has really dulled down. But the project is still so good. And that's why I'm like, it has to go out. But it's pissing me off. So it's coming. It's coming. Continue supporting. Continue being involved. I have to be a bit better in promotion and just letting folks know what's going on, because I get shit done and move on. Because that's just how I am as a person, y'all. The world is just so much going on, so I'll get things out there and let it be. So you're gonna start seeing more promotion from me. You'll start seeing more snippets and more just this face. More outside of these bi-weekly episodes. But with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in to today's episode. Make sure y'all follow us on the socials, on Instagram and TikTok at kvngdom.co. Make sure you follow us on YouTube as well at Royal Voices Podcast, all one word, as well as on TikTok and Instagram. And then lastly, follow the kid, your host, King Jay, on Instagram at _JAYTHEDON _ and the link to my bio has access to everything else I get involved in. Go to kvngdom.com, kvngdom.com to get involved in Kvngdom Essentials and all the other things. A revamp coming soon. So again, get up in there while you can, because it might be down by the time you click the damn link. So with that being said, y'all enjoy y'all holiday season. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving, shout out to you. Have fun. Enjoy your family, your friends. Eat some good food. And, reflect. Be grateful. And remember, we reign forever. So have a good one.